It's still happy hour with John Gaskins, so go ahead, have another.
Hey, welcome to the introductory press conference for the 11th head coach in Coyote softball history, Coach Shannon Pivovar. We'll start with an opening comment from Coach, and then we'll jump to the media from there, and anybody else who pops on, we'll just kind of popcorn around from there. Go ahead, Coach.
Thank you for being here today. I am truly honored and humbled to be the next head softball coach at the University of South Dakota. It's been a whirlwind. A lot has happened in the last 3 weeks, obviously, but the last 48 hours have been connecting with players, connecting with recruits, starting to line up a staff, and just, taking everything one step at a time and moving into this new role. So I'm thrilled, I'm excited. This is a great place to be. There's a lot of support, so I can't wait to get going.
All right, with that, we'll jump into questions. Who would like to go first? Zim,
I'll
go
go
ahead.
first.
Yeah, go
Steve.
ahead.
Hey Shannon, congratulations.
Thank you.
You've been a couple of stops here over the last few years, an assistant at SDSU, then the head coach at USF, and now an assistant here at USD before taking over. How would you say those 3 jobs have kind of prepared you for this one?
Yeah. I think every place that you go, you learn a little bit and you grow a little bit. And my favorite thing that I've gotten to do throughout all of this is I've refound the joy in what I do. And not that those other places weren't great. I have amazing experiences. I got to work with phenomenal human beings at each place, but there was a little bit different pressure, and obviously the seat that you were in and everything with each place was a little bit different, and I have matured a little bit. The relationships have become vastly more important to me, and I realize that. And so I really think the biggest thing that each one of those places through difficult times and great times have given me is just the understanding that this game and this opportunity to be a coach with these young women, it's a grateful, humbling experience. And those things, those places, those experiences simply just taught me that this is a game, and there is so much joy to be had from it when you do things the right way. And I think that's the biggest thing, is that, we're gonna put emphasis on the little things, and that's stuff that I've taken from each spot, right? There is no little thing. Everything is important, but we've got to have fun while we're doing it. And I think that's something that really has risen to the top over the last few years of my different locations. That's when we've been the most successful, is when we're having fun, we're putting in rewarding kind of work, and we're doing it all together. So that's kind of a lot of different pieces, but that's what I would take from each different spot that has led me here, that's going to propel us into where we're going.
Was it good for you then to kind of get your first head coaching opportunity and then take a step back, be a head or an assistant coach again, and kind of take what you learned and now apply that into your next head coaching job here?
I've told many people that the change from Sioux Falls to here was probably one of the biggest blessings in terms of my professional career. It wasn't what I envisioned my career to look like, but it absolutely was something that I needed as a person. Everything at USF that I was doing was, we were going to be perfect, and it was going to be just by the textbook, and everything was going to turn out the way that in my brain I envisioned it. And that's not life, and that's not softball for sure. And so being able to move into a different role where there were still a lot of responsibilities, and obviously the coaching side of it and the relationship building and that stuff was still just as valid and as important. But being able to see it through a different lens, I think, yes, 1,000%. It took me from those perfection moments to, like, it's a process. And like I said, right, wrong, or indifferent, how it happened, all of that we could debate, but that piece and that transition was the best thing that's ever happened to me.
How do you build on the momentum that USD softball has right now after your guys' run?
Sure. we're keeping a lot of the same pieces together. And I think that's the biggest thing. We have the right people. We have support. We have a little bit of an unknown name now. And so you're taking some of those things that everybody else before us and even before this year, but they've built into and they've put into and poured into. And now it's our job to just continue it. And we're going to work just as hard, if not harder. Competition every single day is going to be things that we focus on a little bit more. But pouring into our people and believing in our people, from player 1 through 23, 24, 25 that we have on the roster, and then our entire staff. And I think that's going to be the way that we do it. The people are what make it. And we've got to be able to pour back into them, whether it's the belief or the confidence or the development or those kinds of things. But the pieces are there, and I think that's the most exciting thing to me, and why I do feel super honored to be in this spot is that, like, that group is still that group, and they did that. And so being able now to be in charge and move them and guide them and still keep us on the rails, I think that's super exciting.
Thanks, Shannon. Congrats again.
You bet. Thank you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Coach, when Wagner announced he was stepping down, when there was time in between the announcement of you being promoted to head coach, were you in any way maybe surprised? Like, did you enter that time into not knowing what would happen, or would you say you kind of expected to be promoted to head coach?
I didn't expect anything. And actually, I respect the University of South Dakota and our administration immensely for doing a national search. And while I was stressed out because I didn't know what my next steps were going to be, I do very much believe that them going through that process and taking those steps was what needed to happen here. And so I'm very thankful that that process happened. There was not a lot of communication to me about what was going on. I was told, just like our other 2 assistants at the time, that it would be a national search and you're more than welcome to apply. And so it took some soul searching and figuring out, like, where we wanted to go and what it looked like and what direction we were going to take and what I wanted personally and professionally too. And so I'm very thankful to USD that that's the route that they went and didn't just say, here you go, Piv, this is yours, because there are a lot of really talented and qualified people, and I think that it makes this decision and this next step in this transition mean that much more to me personally, but I hope to our entire team and fan base and culture and community that that's the direction that we're going and that there was intent and thought behind the process.
You've worked under 2 head coaches, Wagner and Crystal Woods from the past. What would you say you've learned from those head coaches to be able to use what you saw from them being the head coach to now take that into your future?
Yeah, for sure. That's a great question. I think every head coach is unique in their own ways, and we're all quirky and we're all special. From Coach Wood specifically, she gave me my first chance in collegiate coaching, and so I'm forever grateful to her. She taught me what working hard behind the scenes looked like. She taught me how to recruit. She taught me, like, the X's and O's of everyday work and all of that, and she's a master softball mind as well. And so the things that I gleaned from her were immensely important in building the foundation of what I want. And so, like I said, I'm eternally grateful to Krista for taking a chance on me, for then taking a chance on me and taking me up to state with her. And we had a lot of really good experiences and memories. So she's just somebody that I very much admire and will always look to in that capacity. And then Coach Wags taught me, again, kind of back to it, but, like, there has to be joy in the game, and you got to love what you're doing. And he gave me opportunities to be able to find that again. So from a personal standpoint, that's something that I will always thank him for is that. He also is one of the smartest softball humans that I know, and there would be times that, he would make a substitution or do a pinch hit or call a play, and I'm like thinking in my head, okay, I don't know that I'm on the same wavelength as you are right now, but just seeing how those things played out and how that changed the trajectory of a game or an inning or a moment, a lot of those are things that I will think back on and try and keep in my back pocket as to why you want to make that move or what that means bigger picture to the game. Or, like I said, there are no little things, and there were a lot of very simple base running, hitting, nitty-gritty kind of things that I will absolutely take from Coach Wagner. And so I appreciate everything that he did over the last 3 years to just kind of throw all of that my way so that I could be a sponge and learn all of that too.
As you were already in the softball program here, it's not like a different coach is coming in to take over, and the girls know you for being the assistant, and with how the program's in a good position of just how excited would you say to just keep on continuing working with the players and continuing the program success?
For sure. And when I, that week in between that was kind of the unknown, that's what I kept coming back to is I love our student athletes. I genuinely care about them. I think that they are phenomenal human beings. They're quirky and they're fun and they're goofy and they make me smile and laugh and enjoy coming to work. And at the same time, they're hardworking, competitive, really driven people. And as a coach, those combinations are really exciting when you're looking forward. So we have great people here. They made my decision to put my name in a heck of a lot easier because the opportunity to be able to continue moving forward with them, like that's kind of a dream. That's kids that you don't have to start from square one. They don't have to start from square one with me. And we do, we just get to keep going. And to see their faces on the Zoom the other day when we were able to tell them and to connect with them since that point, it's just very reassuring, and it makes your heart swell a little bit when you get to have that kind of reaction. So I'm thrilled.
Thanks, Coach. That's all I got for you.
All right, who'd like to go next? Oh, John.
John?
Hi, Piv.
Hi.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
A lot of questions have already been answered, but I am curious. You say it sounds like you got a lot coming back. Can you tell us how many current players that are eligible to play next year that were on the roster this year jumped in the portal, and how many have solidly committed to coming back?
I can tell you that there's a little bit of fluctuation, but that we have the core of our team returning. There's a couple days here that they have before they have to be in the portal. And so we have a couple kids who we knew even before I was named head coach were planning to go into the portal. And so those are kids that are kind of on the fence that we're hoping stick with us, but we also understand there's got to be a good fit and it's got to be right for them. And their decisions were not driven by this. Their decisions were driven by more personal kind of things. So those are ones that we hope to keep on our side, keep on the good side.
Okay. I guess I'll specifically ask about Madison Evans. Do you know what's happening there?
I can't talk on that.
Okay. What about commits, players that were committed to coming to play softball next year? What kind of, what can you tell us about if they are still committed?
I can tell you we have a 100% retention rate, John.
Okay.
We are good. We are good. They're excited. I've connected with everybody. Obviously can't speak individually on that, but the kids that are coming in, they're still excited to be Coyotes. So we're through the roof thrilled that has all lined up too.
And while they all have their different stories and angles, regardless of the coaching change or not, can you give us a sense of how much some of them wanted you to be the next coach in order to keep their commitment?
Yeah, I think the biggest emotion that I can say that I heard when I talked to him was just like a sense of relief. I think there's something to be said about knowing somebody before you come in, and our administration here was really great that regardless of who was going to be the next head coach, they had already connected with all the kids and told them, like, you have a spot. If you want it at that point, you have a spot. And so I think that was refreshing for them to hear initially, but then to just put a face to a name that they already knew, and they're coming to spend their first year of college with somebody that they've already built a relationship with and had in their cell phones. I think that was encouraging to them. And there were just a lot of like giddy, happy voices on the phone when I was talking to them. And I think, like I said, relief was a big piece of that. And just, they knew the direction and they knew what they were getting, and that doesn't change. And so, yeah, I think that was a good thing.
How similar were conversations with the current players who may be coming back?
I mean, their faces on the Zoom were pretty telling, I think. There were a lot of smiles. There were some hands up in the air. There were things like that, and connected with them too individually. And I think while my vision is going to be a little bit different and the things that we do are going to look a little bit different, and that's okay because that's just a different coaching style, the core of what we're going to do and being human, student, athlete in that order, like that's going to remain the same. So I think, again, the sense of calmness and relief, I think those were a couple of really big things. And even if it was somebody else, like I have faith that the administration here was going to take care of those kids, because those kids are the reason that we had any of what happened at the end of the year happen. And so I think there was a commitment to them that regardless of who they brought in, they wanted to make sure that they were taken care of. And so I think that piece was one, but then I think, you know, when my face showed up, I think they were pretty excited about it.
I think this is the last one. To your understanding, the momentum of those last couple of weeks, the success, the momentum, the viral moment, all of that, like how much, from what you've been told, was a reason why they ultimately hired you, to keep that momentum going, both with the current players and commits?
Yeah, that honestly wasn't really discussed with me hardly at all. It was more about what I've done over the course of coaching and what we've done over the last 3 years and what I did as a head coach, and more of that stuff along with, you know, my vision and like I said, the little things, there aren't any, and the human being, and then the student, and then the athlete, and like those visions and things. That was way more what we talked about than anything else regarding the turnaround this season or the end of the year or the I'm so proud of you, Katie Hoffman specialty. So it was way more about those other things than any of that stuff.
All right. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.